I'm Lorna and welcome to my channel Thread and Yarn. It's all about my me-made wardrobe for the most part, my sewing, my knitting, my natural dyeing and quilting, and I'm starting to include little bits about my gardening as well, especially the bits that are related, so things like natural dyes. So if you fancy a cosy little watch, then hopefully that's what this will be for you. I am just going to do a bit of an update of what's happened over July, some of the things that I have made, a few updates from my last video, and some things I've dyed over the last month, and some things that I've got cut out and prepped and midway through, or things like that. So yeah, join me for a little cozy video in boiling hot Stroud. Yeah, so first I just wanted to say thank you so much for all of the comments and all of the love on my last video. It was so lovely. I felt like there were lots of new faces that have joined the channel and also joined my Patreon and Discord, and it's just really nice to build out this like crafty, cozy community. Lots of people have been sort of sharing what they've gotten up to in the comments and also on the Discord, and giving each other advice and things like that as well, which I love to see. It's really lovely to have people connect over their makes wherever they are in the world. So that's been very nice, and yeah, I have loved meeting lots of like online kindred spirits through that. So thank you so much for all of the love on it. It was really lovely reading through your comments. And I also have another update about that video. So if you watched the last one, you might remember that I had made a dress, a zero waste gather dress in a viscose that I felt like I wasn't personally going to get a lot of wear out of, and that I didn't really feel like me as much as the other ones. But it was in lovely fabric, I'd made it nicely, and I really wanted it to be worn. So I spoke a bit about it, and I said if anybody wanted to cover the cost of postage and fabric that I would send it to them. And I got a few messages, and then a lovely person called Petra, hello Petra, bought it in the end, and she sent me the loveliest email when it arrived. It really made my day, just seemed very happy. So I feel really content that that is going to have a lovely home where it's going to be worn loads, and that really brought me a lot of joy. So yeah, I may do that with some more of my clothes actually. I think I was going to do it in this video, but it's 30+ degrees here today, and I would want to try them on and show you how they fit and how they move, so I don't fancy doing that. So I'll pick a cooler day and I'll show you a few things that are well made but I'm not really wearing, in case anybody might get more use out of them. So I'll talk about that in another video. But for this one, I thought I'd start off by talking about a few things that I've made recently, both sewing and knitting. So first of all, I have made this skyline dress by what's her name, Sydney Graham, and it's unusual for me mostly because, well, not really in the style or in the fact that it's a dress with lots of positive ease, but because it only came out yesterday, and it is very unusual for me to like impulse buy a pattern like that. I normally look it up for ages, and I think something about it that really appealed to me was the hot weather that I'm having at the moment. And I've made a few loose, relaxed, like cotton and linen things, but yeah, I was just missing like having a very breathable, easy breezy sort of dress without sleeves that I could put on a really hot day. We've been going swimming in the morning at the local Lido, and I've noticed a few of the ladies have, when they get out and they dry off quickly, and then they pop on a dress like this, which is just really loose, and I'm trying to get into my bob pants or something, which are lovely. I love them. I showed them in my last video, but still, like, trying to put trousers on in the heat when you're like a bit damp. I just felt like it would be great for going around the garden, and yeah, for when I get out the pool or out the lake, and it'll just be something really easy to put on, just like a house dress. And I think I love the colours. I'm sure I will wear this a ton in the autumn and in the winter over t-shirts and lightweight jumpers and things. I think it'll be really cool. I've had this fabric for maybe 2 years. I'm pretty sure I bought it from Simply Fabrics Brixton. It's a cotton fishy, the same fabric that I made my hattie dress in. I'll put a picture up. That I love. I think the fabric is great, it's pretty affordable, but it's just been sitting around for ages because I didn't know what I wanted to make with it. And then I thought it would be perfect for this because I feel like the colours go all times of the year, and I'm really happy with it. It's got a cute detail as well, so the construction is interesting. You do one long tie which kind of goes under the armpit and up around the top, and then one short tie, and then they meet together for this little tie here, and it makes it nice and adjustable. There's a little bit of gathering around here. I'll show you some full length shots as well. It's got pockets. Yeah, the only thing I haven't done is hem it because I can't decide how long I want it yet. So sometimes I like to leave dresses for a couple of days and wear them and then see what I want to hem it at. So I might do that. Yeah, like I say, it's unusual for me to just buy something straight away, and I felt a little bit guilty afterwards because I thought, oh, it's not quite as considered a purchase as I would make normally. I haven't really bought many patterns lately, to be honest. So I feel like I've probably got quite a good library, and I've started drafting, you know, some things of my own that I want, or remaking sort of familiar favourites like this, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, she's just one individual. It's got a really nice inclusive size range. I think it goes up to a size like UK 32, 34. I'll put it up in the text because I can't remember off the top of my head and I want to get that right. Yeah, and I just thought it would be perfect for this hot weather. So I'll probably jinx the hot weather now, we'll see. But yeah, nice to make use of this fabric as well, and working through the fabric that I, you know, have bought over the last few years instead of buying more as well, so that's good. Yeah, solid make really. It's pretty easy, pretty quick. I made it in about, cut out and made it in about 3 or 4 hours. There's not much to it, to be honest. I didn't do the tiered version, I just did a very simple skirt. So the other thing I've made lately, sewing wise, I'll talk about knitting in a minute, is this peppermint peppermint wrap skirt. There is a peppermint pocket skirt, which is different. I have made a couple of these in the past, and I've been wearing my Tencel one loads while it's been hot, and I bought this linen when I went to Merchant & Mills in February, and my first ever time there. And I think we were so like distracted and excited by everything, and we wanted to make matching couples bags. So we were focused on that, and then but what I had gone for was getting fabric for a gathered skirt, but I only picked up 1.5 meters, which just wasn't really enough volume for what I wanted, and I felt like I could give it a go, but it was going to be more narrow than I wanted and not quite right at all. And then I couldn't decide. I didn't really want to make more trousers with it. I didn't want to make a bias skirt because I've already got a few of those and they're not super economical on fabric. And it took me a while to decide what to make, but then I've been wearing my peppermint wrap skirt so much, I thought, why don't I just make one of those? So I just managed to squeeze out 1.5 meters. I did have to be a little bit creative with some bits. So I did have to, let me see if that's focusing or not. There we go. Patch it up a bit. You can see on the edge here I added another section because I was just short there. And then the ties I had to sort of piece together to get them together. But yeah, I'm really glad I made it. I've worn it quite a bit already. I love that I don't have one like this. I don't have anything really in this colour. And it's just, again, going to be great all year round, I think. Lovely and breezy in the summer. I'm going to visit my my mum in Wiltshire, who's about an hour away, later on today and tomorrow, and it's really hot, and I'm gonna pack this, I think, and a little knitted top somewhere around. I'll try them both on for you, and I'll show you. The other thing I did differently about this is I made a pocket for it. So it doesn't have a pocket in the pattern, and it's annoying not having pockets. So I made, just on one side, because I didn't have enough fabric to do two, a nice inseam pocket, which is great. So I've got somewhere to put like keys or my phone or, you know, whatever. And I'm actually quite glad I only had one, because I've put it on the side where the bow does up, so any sort of, because it's a wrap, any sort of stretch you get from the pocket being open is kind of covered up by the tie, whereas this side is quite clean, and I'm really happy it stayed like that rather than having a pocket coming out. So it all worked out well. The only thing is a little bit tricky to do pockets because the skirt is French seamed. You could kind of avoid that and just overlock your seams, but there's something kind of lovely and luxurious about having French seamed seams. So what I did was attach the inseam pocket right side of the pocket to right side of the skirt like I would normally. I did that on both sides so they're mirrored back and front, or in this case, like I think it's left side and back. And then I did a little bit of edge stitching like I always do. My pocket is pieced together from scraps. A little bit of edge stitching just to hold down the inside of the pocket, stitching the pocket to the seam allowance, not through to the skirt. Always do that, it just makes pockets lie really flat. And then I just French seamed it like I would normally. So I just treated them as if it was one piece, but it did take me a little bit of thinking about. I had to make it easier to French seam around the curve of the pocket, because it can be a bit difficult to French seam around curves. Let me find it. Where's it gone? So that's the top of the pocket on the inside. And then I forgot to overlock this bit, so ignore that. But to join this bit with French seams, I had to do a little, when I'd done the first round of French seams, I had to do a little snip into that from that corner down to there to allow me to turn it inside out to do the second round of French seaming, and then that worked fine. If this is all kind of a nonsense to you and you don't know what I'm talking about with French seams, they're a type of neat seam which encloses the raw edge entirely within itself, and it's a nice thing that's often done on sort of more formal garments or silk, viscose, anything that's see-through. And I've got a little video about how to do it, so I'll pop a link up to it. So the other thing I finished recently, and I'm super happy about it, is this Bifurca Vest. And I have shown you it in a few videos now, and I love it. It's just possibly the nicest thing I've ever knitted. It's so pretty. I love the colours. It's knitted in De Rare Natura in Potimarron, which apparently means red curry squash, which is one of my favourite squash, and the poivre sel, I can't do French pronunciation I'm afraid, but it means salt and pepper, and it was in their Ulysses yarn, and it's quite like it's non-superwash, and it's not scratchy at all. It's lovely. I love non-superwash yarn, to be honest. I'm getting more and more into it, and it just feels quite intelligent. It's still got some of the natural properties of the yarn, and probably not on a 30-degree day, but still on a warm day I feel like I could wear this and it's breathable, and it's quite like an intelligent fibre. But yeah, the pattern is lovely. I know some people said in the last video that they've seen lots of versions where they're quite loose and quite baggy. I saw that as well, and I think that's great for layering and everything, but it's not quite what I wanted. So when I was in between sizes, I went for the smaller one. I think I did a size 2, and that was off my bust measurement of 35 inches, if that helps anyone. but my gauge was to gauge. It is quite fitted, but I really like wearing it on its own. And I think I probably will be able to layer it over a lightweight dress or a lightweight t-shirt, but probably nothing sort of more heavyweight. That's fine. But I think when I do my next one, because I'm in between sizes, I might just add an extra row, a couple of rows of increase, like before and after the colour work. Oh, fluff up my nose. Which will just give me that little bit of extra ease across the bust, because it's just a little bit fitted across the bust for layering. But I do really love it, and I love this twisted rib twisted rib section, I guess, and the way that she's done contrasting pearl side bind off. It's so pretty. It looks so, I think it's the thing that looks the most like professional at anything I've ever knitted, and I love that it's inspired by like botanical flowers and like a lot of Tetty's designs. Yes, so it's by Tetty Lutzak. I think her Ravelry is Tetty's Knit Garden, and I'd really recommend it. It took a second to get my head around the increases and the sort of shape, because it's all cast on around here, and then there's increases done to bifurcate it, hence the name. But yeah, I will show you it on, which should show you how much I love it, because it is really hot today. And I'm going to put it on anyway. Yeah, I am such a fan of it. I'm going to put it on with my wrap skirt actually, because I think it's really cute. I've been wearing it lots on my bob pants, like in this video here. But I'm going to try it on for you with my wrap skirt. Not this one, but my tencel one that I've been wearing quite a lot. So here it is. I really do actually love the fit. It's not as sort of fitted over here as I remember even on this hot day. So yeah, it just feels perfect. I'm definitely going to be making another one. This is it with the peppermint wrap skirt. So the other thing I wanted to show you was the results of some yarn dyeing that I've been doing recently. So I've been dyeing up lots of wool, and I've been, oh, I've forgotten one. I really want to show you this one as well. Yeah, I've been doing lots of yarn dyeing on a new base that I've got, and I am really enjoying celebrating like late summer and autumn tones. And all of this, every single colour here, apart from the blue, is from plants that are in my garden or immediately outside, or my allotment. And this is making me so happy because they're all such seasonal colours. To be fair, I do have indigo, which is what this is from, growing in my plot, but it's just not quite ready yet. But yeah, it's all, yeah, they're so local and delightful. So that's bringing me so much joy. So these are all from the same walnut bath from the tree outside. This is classic walnut. It's I haven't put it in any mordant, it's just gone in the walnut bath, and it's this lovely warm brown. This was the same yarn but went in an alum mordant, and it's gone this amazing gold. And then this was a grey base, and it's got a slightly more greeny tone to it, a bit more like chartreuse. And I can't believe they're all from the same bath. I absolutely love them. So I'm definitely going to be doing a lot more of that. I've got another walnut tree I can use as well in my friend Lucia's garden. So and these trees are massive, so I'm not taking very much at all. And yeah, I'm super happy with those colours. I've got a new yarn base, which I have chosen specifically for sort of autumn and winter, because I wanted it to be a bit more like rustic and robust. So it is quite rustic. It's all non-superwash, and it's all milled in a little small company's mill up in Yorkshire, and it's predominantly Jacob based. So Jacob is a UK fleece that is very robust, very strong, and I've chosen it for my autumn winter sock base, which is what this one is, which is why I'm stroking it. It's got an indigo base, and then I have done the speckles with walnut, which is, I've got a massive walnut tree right outside my garden. Coreopsis flowers, which are growing in my garden. What else? And some onion skins from the onions that I've grown. And it's this lovely, lovely rich mid blue with sort of rusty speckles and browns, greens and golds, and I just absolutely love it. I've got a few of these. I'm going to do a little sort of autumn release. I'm doing it slowly, so it won't be until maybe September, which is a while away. But I'm working on it slowly. I've also started knitting a sock in this yarn. The cuff is in this colour, and then the main body is going to be in this, of the sock, in this colour, which is a sort of walnut exhaust base, and then it is bundle dyed with some black hollyhock, with some coreopsis and some more walnuts to give it all of these lovely autumny tones. Here's how it's knitting up. And I just really love those moody tones. I can't believe the depth of some of the colour that I've gotten from the walnut leaves in my garden. Well, it's not my garden, it's on the street outside. But yeah, this is it. It's definitely, you can see it's more rustic and robust. I feel like there is a growing group out there of people who really appreciate very sort of natural, slightly more rustic, non-superwash yarn. There's definitely a place for, in my stash, for superwash as well, but I find that especially for things like socks and really functional garments, I prefer using things like this. I think that they're more like intelligent, like I was saying before. For socks, I really can't stand my feet getting sort of sweaty, and I think these are just, I just much prefer having that sort of natural fibre. And again, for things that are a bit more like functional, like winter like jumpers or vests or shawls, I prefer that kind of texture as well. So yeah, I'm really excited to knit up more of this. I've been knitting something in the DK base as well, which I will show you. So this is the yarn that I'm knitting my shawl in, and I'm really excited about my shawl because I've been working on the design for it for months. I've had the idea for a long time, and I've been doing the maths and everything, and yeah, because it's got a bit of an interesting construction. It's going to be called the Briar Shawl, and it's inspired by my love of foraging, going through the hedgerows, and also my love of the detectorists. Because whenever I hear the main theme tune with about the briars and the brambles, it really reminds me of that. And the detectorists, if you haven't watched it, please do. It's such a joyful, amazing TV programme, and it's written by Johnny Flynn, the theme tune. Anyway, so it's inspired by like brambly thistles and all the lovely plants you get in hedgerows. I think it's going to be a great colour for autumn, winter, and that's what this shawl's designed for. I'm going to do two sizes, but the big one is designed to be a really, it's triangular, really sort of workhorse one that you could wear outside, that, you know, the hats that they used to wear in Shetland, really traditional, really robust, rustic shawl. So I'm going to be doing a smaller sample in my other yarn, which has got a Gotland BFL base. It's going to be for the smaller version, which will be a bit more like a little, like a scarf, basically a triangular scarf. The main reason though that I'm designing this is for the knitting retreat. So Lucia, my friend, and I, we were on a sewing retreat back in May, and we're going to be doing a knitting based one. In February it's going to be a celebration of winter. Sorry if you've already heard me say this. But a celebration of winter is going to be near the Imbolc festival, one of the key points on the sort of wheel of the year where you're deep in winter at the start of February. You can just start to see the hints of spring, and we're going to be celebrating winter by knitting this shawl pattern together, and we're going to have a sort of folklore storytelling evening by the fire with a drink or a cup of herbal tea, working on our knitting and thinking about the importance of resting in the winter and rebuilding our energy and enjoying crafting together. And we're building that sort of fibre kinship that I go on about sometimes. So I'm really excited about that. There's going to be a rambling walk as well on one of the days where we get to explore and maybe even do some foraging around the local countryside. And then the second day we are going to break up the knitting a little bit, give our hands a rest and do a little bit of dried flower arranging. I grow a lot of flowers in my garden, and allotment for drying and arranging dried flowers is one of my things I love to do in winter. It feels like a lovely celebration of all the blooms of earlier in the year, and bringing a bit of life and beauty into your home in the deepest, darkest depths of winter. So I'm going to naturally dye some ribbons and start weaving some honeysuckle mini wreaths, and I've been drying lots of flowers in preparation for that. So yeah, if you like the idea of coming to the Cotswolds, staying in a beautiful historic house, working on a shawl pattern with some yarn that's been naturally dyed, and going for a little bit of a walk, or if walking's not your thing, you can stay and cozy up with a book by the fire, and then maybe doing a bit of dried flower arranging. I think it's going to be a lovely long weekend. We're just finalising some details about it at the moment, and then hopefully I'll be able to share some more soon. So keep an eye out for that. The shawl pattern is going to be designed for the retreat, but I will release it to everybody as well. But it will be, obviously I should be showing you all the techniques in person and everything on the retreat. Yes, exciting times. So I put a couple of videos at the end of me showing you more about the yarn, and also of me picking the dye flowers and everything that go to make all these beautiful colours. So there's two more things that I've made recently. One of them I started months ago, and my partner made a matching one. I've already mentioned it. It is this Merchant & Mills Francli Daypack. I can't show you his because he's away with work and has taken it with him, but I am going to do a video tutorial on this, not tutorial, sorry. I'm going to do a video of the making of this, where we both make our backpacks. So I'll show you more of it then, but this is it. I'm so happy with it. It's so nice to have a really strong, I feel like, yeah, I think because Francli are an actual bag maker, it's a really professional design. There were some bits that I got a little bit confused on, which I'll talk about in that video. But it's got some really professional finishes. It's got like a laptop sleeve on the inside. It's got loads of bits of webbing. I thought, how are we going to use all of that webbing when I first got it? But there's little things like that tab which attach to this, and then just, yeah, little nice finishes like that. Here's the back, whole little thing, tiny little handle. But it's got a canvas back and bottom, really hard wearing canvas, and then it's an oilskin remnant I bought in Merchant & Mills when I bought this fabric actually. And yeah, it's got some bottle cages, or bottle bits, bottle cage is what I call it on my bike. And a little side zip as well, some elastic to tighten it. I'll show you a video of me wearing it or using it when I took it to town the other day. I've been using it loads. It's great. I pop it on my bike, or I pop it on my shoulder, and I'm super happy. It was going to be for the allotment because I wanted a gardening one, because I do a bit of gardening work as well. But I'm so happy with this one. I just don't think I could bear to have it as a gardening one. But we do have lots of oilskin scraps, so I think I might make a patchwork one next, and that can be my gardening one. Yeah, so if you're interested in making this, I would definitely recommend it. It is not a beginner pattern. I'd say confident sewer, to be honest, but it's lovely if you want a challenge and you want a really sort of professional looking bag. I'll talk about it in way more detail in the video that we make it in, and you can see all the ups and downs of making it. If you are looking for a more simple backpack, I made the Making Backpack by Noodlehead, I think it's called. Here's a picture of it. I talk about it in one of my past videos. I'll find out and I'll link it up here. And that is a much more sort of accessible backpack, which is a great one, but this just looks, yeah, like the real deal. I'm so happy with it. The only other thing I've made is a very small thing, and it is this little quilted pot rest. I love using up scraps for things like this, and it's just like a nice little trivet. There it is, the back. And I like putting them on my table and having a few to alternate depending on the colour. And I will put like a water jug on it, or my candle, or yeah, you could put a pot on it if you wanted, but I'm a bit precious about them. But I like putting candles on them. And yeah, I like making these. I often take them to the markets or pop them on my Etsy shop. So that's all there is to it really, just little simple squares, some sashiko thread and binding, and I love using up scraps in this way. I know I said this last year, but I definitely want to make a winter quilt, so I can take it with me in the van as well for travelling around to like yarn festivals and things. So I'm definitely going to do more quilting this autumn and winter, and this sort of reignited that excitement. So something that's on my to make list is a swimming costume, because I do a bit of swimming like I mentioned, and I've chosen the Edgewater Ava because I wanted something that's got some shorts, and I found it quite hard to find an actual swimming costume that will fit my body because I've got quite a long body. The only thing is, I am not sure if I haven't fully made it yet. I've literally just cut it out in this amazing bright blue fabric. I don't feel comfortable fully recommending the pattern because it's got quite a small size range. However, I've read that she is testing more sizes and is going to release them soon, so hopefully that will happen. But yes, I've cut it out, and yeah, I didn't realise about the size range until I bought it, but hopefully she will do that soon and make it more accessible for others. So yeah, I've cut it out. This is, I think, maybe the back leg, bum piece. And I'm going to sew it together on my overlocker, and I will show you that when it's done. But that's on my to make list. Definitely, I really want a comfortable swimming costume that fits me properly, that isn't sort of riding up weirdly or making me feel like I'm going to expose myself accidentally, or yeah, it's just kind of, I've bought so many of the years that just aren't comfortable. They like dig into my shoulders or under my bust, and I'm really hoping that making my own swimming costume is going to be great. Because I do a lot of winter swimming, I do some winter swimming as well, and I think this costume feels like it'll be nice. I don't know, maybe having the shorts and being a bit more covered feels nice. So I will share a bit more about that once I've made it, but I'm quite excited to give it a go, and I'll talk about the fit and everything when I've done that, hopefully in the next few weeks. The other thing that's on my to make list, which I mentioned last time, is a skirt. I'm doing a little tutorial on how to make a very simple elasticated waistband gathered skirt with pockets, and I've cut out my first version of it, and I'm going to sew this up when the weather's a little bit less boiling, and I will show you this, and then I'll make it again in the tutorial and show you how to do that. So keep an eye out over the next, probably be over the next month that tutorial comes out. But I think be a really nice beginner pattern. It's just going to be a free YouTube video because it's quite basic. But I would love to sort of help people who want to build their confidence with sewing and with making their own clothes, and I feel like something like this is a good place to start. And it is just going to be based off your own measurements, so there's no pattern pieces or anything, because it is just a very simple shape, but with some good like sewing skills, like how to put an elastic waistband in, how to set in inseam pockets, how to measure yourself and how to hem it and things like that. So I think that's going to be a fun one. So yeah, look out for that coming up soon. The other thing that I'd really like to make, and I'm going to use some of my own yarn base for it, is the Bifurca Vest by Rosa, I forgot what they're called, I put them up. They've got a yarn shop, and they design patterns as well, and I love the shape. I mean, you know, I love a vest if you've watched any of my videos before. I love the shape of it. It's a v-neck button down vest. It's quite boxy. It reminds me a bit of my bilbo vest in terms of the shape, which is my sewing pattern, but this is knitted, and I can just see myself wearing it so much, and I think it'll be a great way to knit up some of my Jacob yarn, and I am going to try and recreate this colour, this sort of chartreusey mustardy colour. So I've got some grey based Jacob, it's a darker base than this, in my mordanting in alum at the moment, and then I've got another pan of walnut leaves slowly simmering, so that I can try and recreate it and knit up a sample for my market stand, and so I can have a lovely vest. So I'm really excited to try and make that. I think my partner's keen to make one as well, so we'll be there with our matching backpacks and our matching vests. It'll be hilarious. I'll make him a different colour. Or he'll make himself it, because he can knit. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So that's something that I want to cast on in the next month or so, because I think it'll be a really versatile piece for in between the seasons. I also wanted to show you a little bit about my dye garden and my allotment and the things that I've been growing there. I know some of you were quite interested last time, so I hope you enjoyed this. I've really enjoyed seeing how everything has come along over the last couple of weeks. The weather has been a mixture of lots of rain and lots of sun, so I've got things ripening in the polytunnel. I'm just picking cosmos and coreopsis and wild chamomile every day for dyeing, and also for making tea for drying it for making tea for the winter, and it just feels like it's at its most productive, and yeah, it's really giving me all of the ingredients I need, which is just wonderful for my dyeing and also for our food. We like to grow as much food as we can for the year, and I'm really, sorry, doggies outside. Yeah, I'm really enjoying seeing that come to fruition. So here's a few videos of my allotment and some of the things that I have been working on. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments and what you're working on, if there's anything you're growing or that you've made or anything you're really excited about. I'd love to hear it. Yeah, see you next time. Look out for the Francli Daypack video and also the skirt tutorial, both of which should be coming in the next month or so. This is my first Hopi sunflower.